Hi everyone, and welcome back to Crochet Rocks. I'm going to show you how to make this Christmas tree square. I apologise if you saw this tutorial pop on here earlier, maybe yesterday. We had a bit of a hitch. I uploaded it, and for some reason the whole video was there, but when it uploaded there was only a fraction of it, and I'd already deleted it, so I now have to film it all over again. So now I have two of these. I've not blocked them, that's why they're a bit curly. Plus, as this is just a scrap yarn project for me, this green yarn is a little bit thicker than this, and so it definitely needs blocking. But now I have two of them, and this one will be the third, and I'm just hoping that I've got enough of the green yarn. So I want to show you the chart that I'm working from. There are 28 stitches across and 34 rows, I believe. I think it is. Yes, 34. And this is how, if you were looking at a chart, you would view it. So we're going to start with these 4 rows with the white, creamy white colour, and then 4 rows making this part. Then you can see we've got 2 clear rows here, and then we start with the green. And at first we do 4 rows, and then we go up by decreasing 1 at each end, and for 2 rows. So that's what it looks like on paper, and this is what it looks like in reality. So as I say, I'm hoping that I've got enough of this green yarn, because it was just a little scrap as it was, so now I've only got a little bit. So we need a pair of scissors, a darning needle, and I'm using a 4.5mm crochet hook. Actually, I've got the wrong one, so you have to bear with me while I rummage. It's the right colour, wrong hook. See, it's identical colour, just the wrong size. And so we have red, the white and green. Now this is all DK weight. As I say, that it's all DK, but this does come up a little bit thicker. So let's just position the camera down a little bit, and we start off with the creamy white. And so I'll get some yarn. Now to do this, we start with the slip knot. Now you can do that however you prefer to make your slip knot. I do it like that. It's not how I was taught, but I just developed that over the years. I do have a tutorial which shows how to make the slip knot and the magic ring, if you want to look at that first. If I can remember to do it, I'll put a card link to that. So we're going to do a total of 29 chain. Now for beginners, I will show you a chain is to yarn over and pull through the loop, yarn over and pull through, yarn over, pull through. So I'm going to pause the video because there's nothing worse than me counting and putting you off, but I will pause the video until I have 29 chain. So I've got 29 chain here now. And what we're going to do is, in the UK terms, this is a double crochet, and in the US terms, it's a single crochet. That's the only stitch that's involved. So this loop on the hook doesn't count, and this one here is our first chain from the hook, and this is our second, and we're going to go in there, we're going to insert the hook, yarn over and pull up a loop, so we have 2 loops on the hook, yarn over and pull through both of them. I'll show you again. We'll go into the next chain along, insert, yarn over and pull through, yarn over, pull through both of them. And that's how in the UK we have a double crochet, or in the US it's a single. So into the next chain, yarn over and pull through, yarn over, pull through both. So I'll show you once more, slowly. And now I'm going to pause the video, and I will meet you when I get to the end of the row of chain. I'm now on my last stitch. This one here is just the little knot, and that is the stitch. Let's do my last double crochet, chain 1 and turn my work, and again I'm going to go all the way along and do a double crochet. So I'm going to go in the very first stitch and do a double crochet, and then 1 in each stitch along all the way to the end. So I'm going to pause this video and I will catch up with you at the end of this row, and I'll show you what I do at the end. I'm at the very last stitch now, and there is 1 chain as well, so I go into the very end part, which may very well be the turning chain. The first one is a little bit stiff, so I go into there and do my last stitch. That way it keeps it lovely and straight. So I'm not overly fussed whether I go into the actual stitch or the turning chain, because they are so close to each other. And when you do this stitch, a single in the US or a double in the UK, that is okay to do that because it just keeps it nice and straight. So I'm going to do another 2 rows of this stitch, and I will pause the video and I will meet you when I have a total of 4 rows of this colour. Right, so now we've done our 4 rows of our background colour, which for me is a creamy white, but you can use white any colour. I'm going to do this part. So this is 4 rows where we are going to do 11 double crochet, and then we're going to do 6 red and another 11, turn, and then complete and do that for another 4 rows. So I've got my red yarn handy, and so I do my chain, and I'm going to count 11. I won't do it out loud because that can be annoying. So on my 11th stitch, I will hold it there and get out my red yarn and join it, and I'll finish the stitch in the red. Now that I've caught a little bit of the white, I don't know where it's gone, but for now I'm just going to secure this. I'm going to pull that a little tighter so it's not, I can just about see that little slither of white. See, this does happen to everybody, not just you guys. So I'm going to pull that a little tighter because I don't want it a big baggy stitch, and I'm just going to secure it with 1 little knot just so it doesn't move. So now I'm going to carry that white yarn, so I'm going to hold that along my work. So now I'm going to do a total of 6 in the red. So I don't finish my 6th, and what I do is I pull this is how I do it. I pull that to the front, hold it with my thumb, and finish that stitch in the white. So now when I return, the yarn is already on this side for me to do it. So I hold that and go into the next stitch and do the next 11 all the way to the end. This is perfect for scrap yarn projects. If you're only making 1 or 2, as long as you have enough of the scrap yarn, it's great to finish up all the odds and ends. If you're making a large project, like if you want to make it into a table runner or something like that, then obviously you need to make sure that you have enough yarn. The trouble with this is it's curling, but we'll try our best to keep it as straight as possible. So now I'll go make my way back. I'm doing 11 more double crochet until I get to the red. And I'll just show you how I pick up the red yarn if you need me to show you. My yarn's getting a little tight, I need to pull some out. So just 2 more to go. And then I don't finish it. I hold this. I'm going to carry that yarn, finish the stitch in the red, and then the first one, but I'm carrying that white yarn along with me. Didn't go through the whole stitch there. Get to the 6th one, again, pull the yarn forward. Oops, wrong one. I had them both actually. That one forward, finish that stitch in the white. Don't get confused with this tail that needs sewing in. Let's come forward. And then we just finish the row. If I can see where I'm going in. It's a bit dark in here. The sun's gone in, gone down actually. So then I just finish that row and come back. So I'm going to do 2 more rows. Remember the chart, we have 4 rows of the red. So I'm going to do 2 more rows exactly the same. Finish this one and 2 more rows, and then I will pause the video then and meet you back when I've completed those 4 rows. So I've just got to my very last red stitch, and so I'm going to just hold that yarn tight for a moment behind, finish the stitch in the white, and I'll do 1 stitch in the white, turn over, and because I don't need the red yarn anymore, I'm going to leave a nice long tail and snip it off, and then move that out of the way because it'll get tangled up, and then just complete the rest of the row in the white. And also, if you look at the chart, we need 2 clear rows, so I'm just going to do another 2 rows in the white colour. So I'm going to finish this one and then do 2 more rows in that white, and then I'm going to pause the video and I will meet you back here for the start of our green row. Okay, so I've now got 2 rows in just the white, and so we're back to this part, and we are going to do 5 white, and then we're going to do 18 in the green, and then another 5, and we're going to do that for 4 rows for the first part. So that's pick up my green yarn, pull some out. Now this, because you're using the green for quite some time, they can get a little bit tangled when you're carrying the yarn, but you just need to keep moving it just in case it gets a bit tangled. So we need to do 5 in the white. Of course, this does work better if you're using all the same yarn type, or if you wanted to perhaps make it so that it was fluffy. Did I do 5 then? I lost count. I'm just going to check. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think that was 4. So this should be then my 5th. So I'm going to start. I'm not particularly sure that that's 5. It's just hard to see. I think it is. So I'm starting, and I'm going to hold that white in my other hand that's holding the yarn here, and I'm going to finish that stitch in the green. Now I don't want it to get too baggy, so I'm just going to pull that slightly, and then I'm going to tie this little end to my yarn just to stop it from coming unravelled. So now we're going to do 18 in the green, and we're going to carry the white yarn, if I can separate the two. Move that back. So holding this with my work, I'm going to do 18. I shan't count them out loud. In fact, I'll pause the video and I'll do 18 in the green, and then you can catch up with me. Okay, so I've done 18. I'm just going to bring that forward as before, finish that stitch in the white and end my row with 5 in the white, turn my work, and I'm going to do that for 4 rows. So I'm going to pause the video and do 4 rows in this green, just the same as I did changing the yarn, bringing it to the front, exactly the same for 4 rows in the green, and I will meet you back once I've done those 4 rows. Okay, so I've done the 4 rows, and I'm just going to show you how I carry the yarn and decrease here. So for 2 rows we're going to decrease 1 at each end, so that will be 16 of the green. So how I do that is my 1 chain, and then I'll do my double crochets as usual. And I'm not sure if you can hear Sophia crying there. Don't quite know what's wrong. So this time I don't complete it in the green, and I'll carry that green yarn for 1 stitch. But I won't finish that stitch because now that's my 1 decrease. So I'm going to hold this white yarn and carry it, finish that one in the green, and then do 16 green stitches. When I get to the end, I'll pull that green yarn to the front as usual, but I'll just do 1 less. So I'm just going to do my 16 stitches now in the green for 2 rows. So I'm going to pause the video and I'll see you when I get to the end of that 2 rows. Okay, so now you can see our tree is starting to go in, and so every 2 rows we are just going to decrease by 1 stitch. So now we're going to do 7 white and then 14 green and another 7 white for 2 rows. And we'll do it exactly the same way. When we get to this point, we will do our very first stitch working over the yarn, not finish it in the white, finish it in the green, and we will decrease 1 at each end again, and 1 at each end of every 2 rows until we have just 4. So I'm going to pause the video and I will meet you back here, because you've now seen how to decrease at the beginning and end of each of the colour rows and just increase the white, how to work over the first part of the yarn on this decrease and then work it back in. So keep going until you've only got 4 of the green left. Do 2 rows where you have 4, and then I will pick you up again at this point. If at any moment you feel you need to have a refresher on this, just rewind slightly and watch the last couple of rows. But I shall pause the video and see you when we get to just 4 of our green stitches. Okay, so I'm on my very last row of green. This is just finishing my 4th stitch, my 2nd row of green. So I'm going to work over that one, and I'm going to leave a nice long tail, which I only really had that much yarn left, so did very well there. Just end off that green, and it really is a scrap. And I'm not going to work over that yarn because I want to make sure it's more secure. So I'm going to continue on to the end in this colour, and then if you look at the chart, we do 4 clear rows of the white, just as we did at the start. So that's all we do, is 4 clear rows of the white to end off and finish off our yarn. And that's the square made. So I'm going to pause the video and I'll see you right at the